Raj Nidimoru, Mr. Krishna DK, Miss Apurva Bakshi, and Mr. Sri Krishna Dayal. We are honored and delighted to have them with us today. We also have a very distinguished moderator with us. He's a film consultant. He has authored Lights, Camera, Masala, Making Movies in Mumbai, and Rajnikant, The Definitive Biography. He's also a columnist and a film critic. He's none other than Ms. Naman Ramachandran. Please, a big round of applause to welcome Mr. Naman Ramachandran on stage.
OTT. How did it help you? I'm sure you'll say acting is acting, but was there anything specific that helped you in the longer format?
A longer format is very challenging. On the contrary, Dayal was partially right in saying that you have to get into this skin of the scene, but it's keeping the consistency of the character, keeping the flow of the character, keeping all those nuances of the character, and also remembering each and every scene and where it's coming is the most difficult thing. I mean, Raj and DK, they start with the first episode, scene from first episode, and the second scene that we are going to shoot, it actually coming from the 9th episode. So keeping the graph, and deciding the graph of it, in a matter of time, I think it's a most difficult thing, and you can only do it if you are with the character and with the script. You can't do it otherwise. You are just depending on your directors and their guidance. And I personally like to be self-sufficient and not bother my directors all the time where it's coming. How should I do it? Instead of that, I would like to surprise my directors and tell them that no, I am quite abreast with the script, and I remember it. Now let's try various things about it. So yeah, the consistency factor, the graph, the flow. I think that's the most challenging thing that most actor must be going through. I go through it. And I would like to believe that everyone goes through it. It goes through the same thing.
It's the notes time. When you are doing it, that is not the time when you start jotting down. On the day of the shoot, I try to rehearse quite a lot. I try to read my scenes, as much as possible. Then, with the directors and their input, try various things about it. If I'm going wrong, there is Raj or there is DK who is coming and telling me, Manoj, I think, this is not going to be right, because before this, your reaction is going to be this. So this performance will not work for you. I'll give you an example. A shootout happens in police station in second season. Okay. After Sunny Hinduja's character, what was his name? Milind dies, and the first time when I performed, I howled, okay? And Raj came to me and said, Manoj, no, don't do that. Just give me a performance where you are just stunned, Because after this, you're going to speak to your wife, and there you will be breaking down. So you can't break down here. So these little things.
That's just one of the times we said, otherwise he's one of those first rankers who act like he didn't study. And all night he mugged up. He comes to the shoot like he hasn't prepared at all. He's joking around, and we're thinking, did he even read the scene? I'm always worried, is he going to do it right? So he's just one of those guys, who surprise you on the scene. And he wants to surprise us constantly. I said, tell me, it's okay. I don't want to be surprised every time. So yeah, he's one of the most well-prepared actors who doesn't look it. But once he performs, you realize that he's actually on the dot every single time.
Thank you. That these two used to suggest the cameraman or suddenly think of putting the camera in some place and shooting that particular shot. That used to give me suddenly it used to tell me that these guys are either watching all the independent films or they are going back to their flavors days. So I think it helps in crafting also. Am I right? It helps in crafting your scenes, your shots. I think it helps me a great deal. My own experience of independent films.
Lovely. Did you have to do any unlearning to adapt to the streaming medium?
I don't know. I don't remember. The only thing that you unlearn is what you have prepared. This is what I do. I prepare hard, and after that I forget about it. Because this is very important to. Preparation is very important so that you are confident and you are very much familiar with the script that you are going to be part of it. But when you are going there on the set, you have to keep your mind empty for other things to come in. Preparing too much can go completely wrong. You can go completely stiff, and you will be unwelcoming of all the new ideas that a director can give it to you on that day. And it has happened to me in the past. When I started in around 29, 30 years back, it happened to me. I used to over-prepare, and I used to have so much debate with my directors because I was not ready to welcome his ideas. Because I was so over-prepared. I was so prepared that no other new idea was welcomed on the day of the shoot. So, eventually I started realizing that this is somewhere, the reason is something else. The reason is me. The reason is my preparation. So I'll have to keep my mind empty on the day of the shoot for the new ideas to come in, for the directors to direct me. It was very, very, very important. That is the unlearning that I have done.
Did they share a Bible with you? What all did they share with you?
This
We share some wine, right?
both and Raj ran away from there after having 2 glasses of red wine, and DK and me we crumbled after a few hours. Anyway, so now I happen to be in USA, and I watched this series Narcos. That was the first time. I got myself familiar with OTT and its world. And then again, I went there. In Sacred Games I saw. After that, what I started realizing while exploring the OTT world, that the shows were all about sex, violence, and guns. And I was quite binge watching. I was enjoying watching it, enjoying watching some great performances, watching some great directors work. But somewhere it was telling me that if at all I have to do it, I don't want to do anything which has sex, violence, and guns, because that's the template which OTT was filled up with. And that is when Mukesh Havda, I got a call from Mukesh Havda, the casting director. He said, Raj and DK, they want to meet you. I said, okay, film hai? No, it's a series hai. I said, yaar, wo sex, violence, guns hoga. No, you have to meet them. Just meet them. Okay? And we met at the club or Indigo. And in 20 minutes, Raj has given me the synopsis of this series that they wanted to make. And what was so amazing about it, that he was giving me this story about spy from Chembur, and this is the way we want to make it, a real one. And that kind of triggered everything inside me. I said, it doesn't have sex, violence, and guns, and it is talking about the real guy, and we'll have fun. That's all. That is all. 20 minutes. The meeting lasted for 20 minutes. I say, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Please send me the script whenever it gets ready. Okay, and that's how it happened. hour. It didn't take more than 20 minutes.
So I'm curious to know, before the shoot,
Yeah.
did you get anything beyond the script? As in, like the Bible that
Character arc or all that? No. It was there? Was it there? No.
No,
No.
some form of it might have been made, but I think it's more of a conversation.
Yeah, more
about
of
his
a-
character
yeah.
and how he's going to do
So
it. And all that.
we asked, I think it works for each actor. It works differently. For me, it's very important that I become friends with my directors. I know I start sitting with them. I start understanding where they are coming from, how they are looking at the character, and then I try to go beyond that and surprise myself. Put some new things, give some new dimension to their characters and how they are looking at it. So that is very important for me to really read the scenes with them, read the script with them, or with my co-actors, and then read many times alone. And that is where that is the strength of my preparation, actually, that I go through it again and again in my leisure time. So much so that it becomes part of me. And it's very important, mainly for the series, because as I said in the beginning, that you have to know the graph of your character. Otherwise, it will look quite bizarre, because if there is no graph, the director can help you only that much, because he is dealing with 100 characters. You can't be expecting him to come to you, rescue you. So you have to somewhere be self-sufficient when you're going on the set.
And I mean, one of the things we do, and we learned this, like probably we didn't do it on Family Man season 1, but later on we learned this, we started creating dockets for each character. Like if he's playing the role of Subbu, there will be a Subbu docket where it tells the whole story, like maybe like a beat, like 1 line. It tells the whole story leading up to the scene, and then he has the scene, and then so each actor gets a docket. So at any point, if they have a scene, they need to know what is happening before, after the scene. All they have to go back to their docket and look at it, where it's coming, what has happened to him, what is happening to him afterwards. And
Shooting, before the release or the streaming of the first season, and we went on the. Whatever that they have written, it came to me, and then I said, then a few things are missing. No, that's being written. That will be given to you. But let's start shoot. And when we started shooting, I prepared the character thinking that he's divorced.
are you serious?
He
No,
knows
because
it.
it ended like that, the first series.
Okay, I actually thought, so in my mind, I started acting with that thought in my mind that he's divorced. And suddenly, Raj one day said, no, he's not divorced right now. We are still thinking whether he should be separated or not, Manoj. But let's go ahead and shoot this thing. I said, Raj, don't do this. Because that is going to be the basis of the character's journey. The few scenes we've shot, and then I had to really manipulate my performance around the change the graph of theirs.
It was
Like
easy.
be a bit more detached now. Like being in a marriage where it's kind of like being in a divorce. You're not there.
But it's easy with Manoj. You just say, and he'll say all this, but he'll figure it out.
Now,
We didn't have any number. We didn't know how to measure the success of it in terms of the numbers. But suddenly, wherever you're going, or the responses that you're getting on, and it is lasting for months. But Banda suddenly, I started getting call from ZFI that we were only expecting these many thousands subscription in a month, but now we have crossed more than 2 lakhs. So they were talking about thousands. They were expecting thousands, the maximum. But here they were talking about lakhs. So that itself, says that it's a runaway, blockbuster, in box office language. So that's how you. And then you are traveling, meeting people in the flight, at the airport, wherever you are going. They are saying, "Sir,
And
aapki
your watchman.
Yeah. Eh?
Your watchman who took a selfie with you after Family Man. 10 saal baad.
Family Man. Family Man, you where do we go? The Chotus, all the bachas come in. Sir, Family Man. One photo, Family Man. That is the proof of the success of the project that you are part of.
Yeah, it's like the old days. It's like the old days, right? Like 20, 30 years ago, like at the time of Sholay or Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, even, when a movie plays, sorry? No, like in the olden days. Sholay is very old, but
Pre-social media.
yeah, pre box office numbers. Like nobody knows how much Sholay made. Nobody knows how much Lebar made. But all you know is it's playing in your theater, in your local town, in your local theater, and it's playing, and it's playing, and it's playing. It's playing for 100 days, and everybody you meet has seen it. So people are like, okay, it's a hit. I mean, the only benchmark there is it ran for 100 days. But other than that, it's a hit. Nobody knows how much money it made. So I think we are back to that here, saying if everybody you meet has watched it or is still trending in the top 10 in the platform. That means people are still watching it after so many days. But you never know monetarily what it means.
See, it's also, cinemas have a shelf life. When a movie is released, it has a shelf life. It's that weekend is what is measurable. Here, the interesting part is, it's there all the time. OTT. So people can watch, even if they don't have the time, they can watch accordingly. They might take a month to see it. They might take 2 months to see it.
चाहे रंगमंच हो, थिएटर हो, OTT हो, चाहे वो आपको फिल्म्स हो, थिएटर फिल्म्स, एक ही चीज़ बदलती है, दर्शक की जगह पे कैमरा आ जाता है। और मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी में उसके अलावा कुछ ज़्यादा बदलाव नहीं किए हैं परफॉर्मेंस वाइज। एक किसी डायरेक्टर ने कहा था कि आप थिएटर में परफॉर्म करते हो तो लास्ट रो के लिए परफॉर्म करते हो, बट यहाँ पे लास्ट रो के लिए परफॉर्म करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, कैमरा आपका दर्शक है। सो दैट एक्चुअली वो उस बात ने जो है मेरे सारे चीज़ों को सॉल्व कर दिया था। Now you are acting for the camera, you are not acting for the audience. थिएटर में ऑडियंस सामने होती है, आप उनके लिए परफॉर्म कर रहे थे, इसलिए आपको लास्ट रो में भी सुनाई दे उसकी उतना प्रोजेक्शन आपको करना पड़ता है। लेकिन जब कैमरा ही आपका ऑडियंस है तो आपको प्रोजेक्शन करने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है। आपको सिर्फ ये ध्यान रखना है कि आपका कैरेक्टर जिससे आप बात कर रहे हैं कितनी दूरी पे खड़ा है। मेरी प्रॉब्लम वो नहीं होती, मेरी प्रॉब्लम होती है सटल एक्टिंग के नाम पे लोग, जो नमन अगर उतनी दूर है तो सटल एक्टिंग के नाम पे मैं बुदबुदाऊंगा, नहीं तो लोग कहेंगे कि ओवर द टॉप हो रहा है। ये जो डर है ओवर द टॉप होने का वो इसलिए आता है बिकॉज हम लोग का स्किल सेट तैयार नहीं हुआ है। अगर मैं नमन से बात करूंगा सिनेमा में भी तो मेरे पिच बढ़ेगा, क्यों? बिकॉज नमन मुझसे कुछ दूर है। लेकिन जब मैं डीके से बात करूंगा तो मेरा पिच डिफरेंट होगा बिकॉज ये मेरे बिल्कुल करीब है। बट आजकल हमारे सिनेमा में सटल एक्टिंग के नाम पे हम दोनों से एक ही पिच पे बात कर रहे होते हैं, क्योंकि कहीं ज़्यादा ना हो जाए। दैट्स ऑल, उसके अलावा कुछ चेंज किया नहीं जाता है। It depends what kind of characters you are playing. If you ask me what characters made me a better human being, I would say Ramchandra Caesars of Aligarh. He was a good man. I was playing a character who was basically a very fantastic human being. But when you are playing a character like Shrikant Tiwari, who is lying all the time, he's a good man, but his grace is a little much more, okay, than just the good side, because he has to be too many things in one day, So he's calling all kind of tricks, pulling all kind of tricks to really do the job of a husband, of a father, of a spy, of a colleague, So very few characters that you play actually helps you in becoming a better human being. There was a film called Gali Guliyan that I have played, but that man was, breaking down mentally, in the entire film, that there was a graph of him breaking down. By the end of it, I was almost on the verge of having nervous breakdown.
So that character will never, help me in becoming a better human being. But yes, what happens when you are playing a character, any character, you are trying to understand others, other character.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay? When you are trying to understand patiently, when I'm trying to understand a character, that is also giving me a capacity or a strength, a way to understand others. Okay, because what happens that in actual life, we are too self-obsessed. We are too much in love with ourselves. So we are not we don't try to really understand the person who is talking to me or who I am coming across, who's sitting a little far away. So what is the best part about our profession as actors? That we are looking at people, we are observing them, we are trying to understand their backstory, we are trying to understand what mental conflict they are going through, all of those, aspect about other human beings. And where else you can, get to do that? As an actor, that is why they say you can be a very good actor if you are a good human being. Why they say that? Because when you are a good human being, you try to understand others.
We know to make movies together, so that's the only way we know to make movies. We've been friends since college, so we pretty much we write together, we write to direct. So everything is agreed on the paper. All the fights are happening in the office. So not much happens on the set, I think, right? You've seen us fight?
I have only seen Raj pulling his leg, and he very quietly, really suffering Raj's humor and his pranks on him. I have only seen that. DK doesn't even respond to his pranks and humor, which is so amazing.
Yeah, no, so, improvisations are always welcome from the actors. That's what Layal was saying earlier, that we really get the actors. We don't even sit down with the actors before we start shooting. We don't do rehearsals much. It's just talk, understand each other, be on the same page. And the first day or so, it's fine tuning. After that, it's a free run. It's really actors get to do whatever they want to do, and we are there to possibly govern and kind of oversee it. Really, they do most of the job, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the only surprise bit would be if actor does something from do some ad-libbing. That's where the surprise comes. And I think we both look at each other and saying, what do you think? Is it good? Is it going? And we discuss by the time. Then Manoj comes and it's like,
we have
how was it? So
usually you'll have two of us have to discuss, because it's always a crowd around the monitor. We'll have to go away to discuss and say, what do you think? But we have a secret language that we speak in Telugu. So we speak to each other quietly. Bonda leda. Manoj Bajapyee.
There are some Telugu people in the house, I think. Oh, there's a lot of them.
There's a lady in the front.
The initial time in Bombay, Mumbai, which is called now, initial years in Mumbai without work was very difficult. Why it was difficult? Because when I was doing theatre, when you were also there, we were doing theatre without getting paid. I mean, there is no money in theatre. So, but I was very busy. I was kind of working with Barry John. I had my own group that I was busy with. There was no time for anything else. But the amount of work that we were putting in theatre, it was not giving us time to even think that we are hungry. Okay? It was not giving us time to think that we don't have money to take a bus back to the room. Okay? It was not giving us time for anything. We were so driven, we were so passionate. Days were filled with activities and the plays and the rehearsals. And suddenly when you land in Mumbai, you don't have work. And everybody thinks that our days in Delhi was difficult. No, it was so fantastic because we were learning every day, we were practicing, we were rehearsing. There was no time for anything. If we felt that I want to have samosa, I'm very hungry, I'll immediately go to DK and say, if you have 2 rupees, give it to me, I want to buy a samosa. So that was a kind of time we enjoyed together with our friends, with our colleagues who were working together. But in Mumbai, when you land,
you don't know anybody, and you don't have enough money. You have to really be worried about your rent. You have to be worried about your food, and you don't have work. When whichever office you go to, a person who came straight away from his village and landed in that office, and you who have done 10 years of theatre will be measured equally. Okay? So that was a very frustrating time, and it was a horrendous time. But the low that I faced after a few years of Satya, that I took it very well, I would say. After those 5-6 years of lows, I think I've used it so well that never seemed like low. I used to conduct workshops, I used to attend workshops, I used to read a lot, I used to go back to my village, meet people, just watch plays, watch films. So the initial days of the struggle in Mumbai was very bad, but the low that I have faced after a few years of Satya, that was handled very well. I suddenly, I became very disciplined. I started working on myself, and I started thinking that I have to really prepare myself for the next opportunity. So that is, I think that somewhere gave me this lesson that lows are or the struggle times are the best time to really solidify yourself. And because if you are not working on yourself, then how are you going to use the opportunity which will land up in your lap? So it's best to keep working on yourself. I know it's easier said than done. मनोज बाजपेयी यहाँ से ज्ञान दे सकता है आपको, लेकिन खुद पे पड़ती हो तो बहुत भारी पड़ता है. But there is no other choice. There is no other option. You have to prepare yourself for the opportunity which may come from directors like Raj and DK. And that time you can't say that I'm going back to the workshop to learn acting. You can't afford to say that. Actually, I don't know whether this is a question or not, but one thing, all OTT platforms started with initially, that they were really mentoring independent cinema. That somewhere, got lost. Somewhere, I don't know for what reason, that it has gone down completely. Now we see all the box office blockbusters making their way big time. But the independent cinema movement that started, and it was getting such mentorship from the OTT platforms, that is gone. And that is a very sad development, because if independent cinemas are not there, I don't think there will be will not grow as the industry. Will only grow as an industry in terms of money, but will not grow as an industry as creative people.
Yeah, new voices.
Yeah, new voices. New voices should be applauded. Should be given platforms. So I think that they were doing it so beautifully well.
Yeah, they were earlier. Yeah. All these movies were directly made or shown on OTT. Now there's a clause that it has to play in theaters. Only then we'll take it. Right there is taken off all the cinema that can actually be watched. They're all sitting there in cans because they're not going to get a film released so easily.
No, I mean it's so difficult for any independent film to really stand a chance in front of a say Jawan or Pathan or say Tiger 3. It can't stand a chance. And if you are giving shows at 9 o'clock in the morning for an independent film, it will never do well. It will fall flat. But the platforms were doing it so well. They were really mentoring it initially. I really request from this stage to all these platforms to really revive that mentorship and give Our film is releasing on 8th December in theatre. We've talked enough about independent films, and this film has done wonders in all the festivals. It's a great film. Personally, I feel it's a great film. Please go and watch it in theatre. सिर्फ बड़ी फिल्में देखने नहीं जाना होता है, ये भी फिल्में देखनी होती है. बहुत अच्छी फिल्म है, बहुत ही ग्रेट फिल्म है.
उसका ट्रेलर अभी दिखा रहे हैं आपको।